Today is the second part of human reproductive system, chapter third of plus two biology. In the previous part or in the previous day one lecture, we covered about human male reproductive system. So, this is the topic regarding accessory ducts present in human male reproductive system and the pathway of flow of sperm. So, in seminiferous tubule, there are two type of cells are present: the Sertoli cells and the germ cells. So, in seminiferous tubule, sperm formation take place. When the sperm get formed, then the seminiferous through seminiferous tubule, the sperm move out in vas efferentia through rata testis. Then the sperm will move towards epididymis, and epididymis is present towards the posterior surface of testis. Then it will join with the vas deferens, and then it will form a loop over urinary bladder, and it will connect to the you can say external genitalia, that is penis. You can see here with the colored arrows, it is easily you can say this is rata testis, the blue one, and rata testis then move into afferent ductules, the yellow arrow. Then it will combine with the epididymis area, the red one, and it will move descent with the red arrow towards the tail of epididymis. Then it will move upward, and it will connect with vas deferens, and vas deferens it will form a loop over the urinary bladder and connect with the external genitalia. This is the pathway through which sperm travel: seminiferous tubule, vas efferentia, epididymis, and vas deferens. Now, these are some accessory glands. So, vas deferens receive a duct from a gland known as seminal vesicle, and then open into the urethra named as ejaculatory duct. These duct combine to form ejaculatory duct, and the function is to store and the transport the sperm from testis to the urethra, and urethra originate from urinary bladder and extend through penis to the external opening. Means urethra uh, extend to the external opening. It will start from urinary bladder and it will continue till the penis and external opening. And external opening is known as urethral mitus. Very important and one word question: urethral mitus. Next, external genitalia, or you can say penis. External genitalia is external copulatory organ. What is copulation? Copulation is mating. So it is external copulatory organ. Penis is made up of spatial tissue. Specific tissues are present, and these specific tissues has the capacity for the erection to facilitate the insemination. What is insemination? Insemination is the transfer of sperm into the female genital tract. So these specialized tissue has the capacity to erect at the time of mating. And next point, the end of you can say external genitalia has a large portion known as glans penis. A large tip is present known as glans penis, and it is covered by the loose skin known as foreskin. Now, about accessory glands. Accessory glands are three: seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and bulbourethral gland. Seminal vesicles are paired, prostate gland is single gland, and bulbourethral gland is also a paired gland. Very important question for your multiple choice in CBSE board exam as well as in NEET exam. Seminal vesicle and bulbourethral are paired in structure, and prostate gland is single structure. And seminal vesicle and prostate gland and bulbourethral gland release some type of you can say liquid or some type of chemicals which combine with the sperm, and these three combine to form these three secretion combine to form a seminal plasma. Secretion of all the accessory gland combine to form a seminal plasma, and seminal plasma is rich in fructose, rich in calcium, and it also contains certain enzyme. And the function of seminal plasma is also to help the lubricate the genital external genitalia. So lubrication leads to easily penetration of external genitalia into the female genital tract. Now, female reproductive system. Um, Female reproductive system is located in the pelvic region. It includes a pair of ovary, a pair of oviduct, uterus, cervix, vagina, and external genitalia. Means it contains 6 components. So, oviduct means tube-like structure, which will transfer the, you can say, ovum. So oviduct are the tube-like structure, then uterus and vagina. These combine to form accessory area or accessory duct. A pair of mammary gland is also present in female reproductive system, and the function of mammary gland is to produce milk that will provide the nourishment to the offspring. And all the parts of female reproductive system are combined integratedly, and it will function in close coordination, so that the process of release of egg, ovulation take place. Means all the component of female reproductive system work in a single manner, and it will lead to process of formation of egg, release of egg, fertilization, pregnancy, birth of a baby, and childcare. These all processes will be covered with the all the component of female reproductive system. Now, next, this is the sectional view of female reproductive area through pelvis area. So these are some component of female reproductive tract or female reproductive system. This is the uterus, then urethra, then this is clitoris, labium minora and labium majora, vaginal orifice means vaginal opening, anus, vagina, rectum, and cervix. The function of these components will be discussed later on. This is the sectional view of female reproductive system. This diagram must you have already covered in your 10th class reproduction chapter. So I am starting this diagram. The female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovary, you can see here, and these ovary are attached with the uterine wall with the specific ligaments. Then ovaries are connected with fallopian tube. Fallopian tube contain fimbriae. Fimbriae are the finger-like projections. Fimbriae are the finger-like projections which are required to collect the egg from the ovary. It will collect the egg from the ovary. Then infundibulum is the area through which egg or ovum transported. Then ampulla, and then isthmus. And note down, ampulla and isthmus is the region where fertilization take place. Site of fertilization is ampulla isthmic area. Means through ovary, egg will reach to the ampulla isthmic area or an ampulla isthmic junction, and the sperm will swim through uterine cavity towards ampulla isthmic area. And in the ampulla isthmic junction, the fusion of male and female gametes will take place. So infundibulum, ampulla, isthmus combine to form one tube known as fallopian tube, and inside the fallopian tube there is a specific cavity is present known as uterine cavity. It is a component of uterus, and uterus contain three layer: endometrium, myometrium, and perimetrium. Endometrium is the innermost lining of uterus, and endometrium changes during the menstruation cycle. And then cervix and cervical canal is present. Cervical canal is birth canal, and then vagina is present. These are the some you can say component in parts of female reproductive system. Now, ovaries. Ovaries are the primary sex organ. Why ovaries are known as primary sex organ? Because it will leads to formation of gametes, female gametes, and it also produce the various hormone, that is estrogen and progesterone. And the location of ovaries, it is located in the lower part of abdomen. Each ovary is covered by a thin epithelium covering, and it also encloses the ovarian stroma. Ovarian stroma, peripheral cortex, and inner medulla are the different areas that are present in ovary. In the internal structure of ovary, it consists of ovarian stroma, peripheral cortex, and inner medulla. Next, last point. At the peripheral cortex, follicles are present. Peripheral means outer side of, you can say, outer boundary of ovary contain follicles, and in the middle medulla, medulla means middle area, it will it contain various blood vessels, and ovarian ligaments are present in the middle portion. Yes, you can see here. This is the structure of ovary, and these are some primary follicles. Primordial follicles are the follicles that will converted into primary follicles, and primary follicles then converted into secondary follicles. Means these are the events by which egg or ovum get formed in inside the ovary. Egg is present in miniature form, or egg is present in premature form in the form primordial follicle. The primordial follicle starts, you can say, maturing, and it will convert into primary follicle. Then it will combine to form oocytes, and oocytes get mature, and it will form secondary follicle and tertiary follicle. Tertiary follicle or Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle is the mature state. Here, this is the Graafian follicle, and Graafian follicle contain this one a cavity, and this is the one single ovum or egg here. And this will rupture, Graafian follicle will rupture, and it will release the ovum here outside the Graafian follicle, this one. So ovary releases the egg. In this event, ovary release the egg, and egg is held by the finger-like projection, fallopian tube, fimbriae. So outer cells layer get degenerate, and it will leads to formation of corpus luteum, and corpus luteum degenerate to form corpus albicans, and it will move out from the you can say degenerate from the female body inside the ovary. Next, so TS of ovary, TS means transverse section, transverse section. So there are different stages present in ovaries during development. Primary follicle converted into secondary, tertiary, and it will form into mature Graafian follicle. And Graafian follicle contain a mature ovum. Ovum means egg, mature ovum. In the previous slide already we discussed about the Graafian follicle and mature ovum. And near about on the 14th day, female contain a cycle known as menstruation cycle. On the 14th day, one egg is released. One egg is released from Graafian follicle, and the process of release of ovum or egg from the Graafian follicle near about at 14th day is known as ovulation. So after release of egg from the ovary, the surrounding Graafian follicle cells starts degenerating, and it will lead to form a yellow group of cell known as corpus luteum, and corpus luteum will release the hormone known as progesterone. Corpus luteum leads to release the hormone known as progesterone, and fallopian tube, uterus, and vagina combined to termed as accessory organ or accessory ducts, already covered in the previous slide. So this is all about the female reproductive system, regarding the ovaries and the formation of Graafian follicle and release of ovum. And you must remember about the function of corpus luteum. Corpus luteum leads to formation of progesterone, the hormone that is required for pregnancy. We will discuss it on later on. So thank you.